desperation. "If we could just get old Leadbottom in a good mood," Gruber suggested. Even an undertaker couldn't put a smile on his face. But maybe. The gas. Earlier that day, McHale had returned from the dentist with a mouthful of gauze and a very cheerful disposition, thanks to a healthy dose of nitrous oxide. "That's it," McHale snapped, laughing gas. "If we can pump it into Binghamton's office before the hearing, he'll be so hysterical he'll promote Parker to admiral instead of court-martialing him." The operation was titled Operation Giggling Ghost. The crew stole a tank of nitrous oxide from the infirmary and rigged a hose to the captain's office window. "Breathe deeply, Captain," McHale shouted through the door as the gas began to hiss. "Clear your lungs. It's for the frangipani flies. A localized infestation." Inside, Binghamton was preparing his case. Suddenly, the world began to look very, very funny. The stacks of paperwork looked like funny little hats. The map of the Pacific looked like a giant pancake. When Parker walked in, Binghamton didn't scream. He giggled. "Oh, Chucky Wucky," Binghamton chirped, pinching Parker's cheek. "You torpedoed the garbage scow? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. The potato peels, they have a kick like a mule." "Sir?" Parker asked, terrified. "Does this mean the fitness board is cancelled?" "Cancelled? I'm promoted you to Admiral of the Sinks." Binghamton roared with laughter, dancing a jig with a confused Lieutenant Carpenter. The plan was working perfectly until Admiral Shoemaker, the head of the actual fitness board, walked in. He found the base commander dancing, the acting commander whispering to a hose, and an ensign looking for a place to hide. Fortunately for the crew, a sudden air raid siren distracted the Admiral. Parker, still high on the drifting fumes, wandered out into the middle of the airfield during the attack. In a daze of nitrous-fueled bravery, he manned a machine gun and without even aiming shot down a Japanese bomber. "Magnificent," Admiral Shoemaker declared, pinning a medal on a fainting Parker. "A man who stands laughing in the face of death. Binghamton, you're a fool. This man is a hero." Binghamton, the gas finally wearing off, could only watch in silent agony as his nemesis was cheered by the brass. "Why me?" he whispered to the sky. "Why is it always me?" Chapter 4. Sydney the Mascot. Life on Taratupa briefly returned to its usual state of organized chaos until the crew found a new friend. His name was Sydney. Sydney was 6 feet long, had 300 teeth, and possessed a distinct fondness for Ensign Parker's peanut butter sandwiches. Sydney was an alligator. "Can we keep him, Skip?" Parker pleaded. "He looks like an old cousin of mine. We'll call him Sydney." "An alligator on a PT boat, Chuck?" McHale asked. "Think of the insurance premiums." But Sydney proved his worth. Captain Binghamton, in another attempt to trap the crew, had marked 9 $100 bills and placed them in his wallet, intending to drop it and catch McHale in the act of theft. "The cheese is in the trap," Binghamton told Carpenter as they hid in the bushes near the beach. The plan went awry when Sydney, lured by the scent of the leather or perhaps the peanut butter Parker had accidentally smeared on the captain's ID card earlier, snatched the wallet and vanished into the swamp. "McHale ate the captain!" Parker screamed when he found Sydney with the ID card in his mouth. "He ate old Leadbottom. All that's left is his wallet." Binghamton, very much alive and very much furious, emerged from the swamp to find the crew mourning him by dividing up his hypothetical estate. "You're all under arrest," Binghamton roared, "for the theft of $900. "We didn't steal it, sir," McHale insisted. "Sydney did. The resulting court-martial was a circus." Parker acted as his own defense attorney. "I object," Parker shouted. "On the grounds of temporary insanity. The alligator who stole the wallet was crazy about my mother's peanut butter." "Order!" the judge screamed. The climax of the trial occurred when McHale and the crew literally dragged Sydney into the courtroom. The alligator, sensing the tension, opened his mouth and deposited the wallet intact with the marked bills directly onto the judge's bench. "Exhibit A," McHale declared. The judge looked at the marked bills, then at Binghamton's notes about the trap. "Captain Binghamton," the judge said sternly, "trying to frame a defenseless alligator. This court is adjourned. Now, we fare. We fed BK. Chapter 5. The Ghost of PT-13. Superstition is the bedrock of any navy, and the crew of the 73 were no exception. When a clerk named Guffey revealed that the PT-73 had originally been commissioned as the PT-13, a boat with a history of exploding gas tanks and disappearing crews, panic set in. "We're a floating Jonah," Gruber wailed. "We're living on borrowed time." Binghamton, sensing an opportunity, encouraged the rumor. He wanted the crew to request transfers so he could replace them with real sailors. He even forged a letter from Conflict, confirming the jinx. "I'm sending McHale away as a courier," Binghamton told Carpenter. "While the cat's away, we'll scare the rats into signing their transfer papers." But McHale was one step ahead. He realized the jinx was a hoax and decided to play the captain at his own game. That night, the base was treated to a haunting. Amour. Binghamton was in his shack, nursing a martini, when the lights began to flicker. A low, moaning sound echoed through the rafters. "Ho, ho, ho." A voice boomed. "Who's there?" Binghamton shrieked. 7 figures, draped in white sheets and glowing with stolen radium paint, drifted into the room. "We are the ghosts of PT-13. The lead ghost, McHale, moaned. "We've come for the transfers, Wally. They run a tight cloud up there, and we need the paperwork." Take them, Binghamton screamed, throwing the papers at the ghosts. "Just leave me alone." The next morning, McHale returned from his mission to find the captain hiding under his bed. "The transfers, sir?" McHale asked innocently. "Oh, the ghosts took them? That's a shame, sir. I guess we'll just have to stay here on the 73. Or the 13, whatever you want to call it." Chapter 6. Commander Snookums. The final great adventure of the month involved a romantic entanglement that nearly caused a diplomatic incident. Gruber had been writing to a girl back in the States named Ginger. To impress her, he had sent a photo of himself wearing McHale's commander's uniform. "When you look like me, you've got to lie a little," Gruber explained. The lie became a crisis when Ginger's USO troop was assigned to Taratupa. "If she sees me as a seaman, she'll go back to Brooklyn and marry a plumber," Gruber cried. McHale, ever the softy for romance, agreed to a 5-minute switch. For 5 minutes, Gruber would be the commander of the 73, and McHale would be his seaman. The plan was complicated by the sudden arrival of Commodore Norcross of the British Royal Navy. Norcross was looking for a liaison officer, and Binghamton had recommended McHale specifically to get him off the base permanently. When Norcross arrived at the dock, he found Commander Gruber holding court. "Lester!" Ginger screamed, throwing her arms around Gruber. "My Commander Snookums, as you were, men!" Gruber shouted at McHale and Parker. Chest out, stomach in. Commodore Norcross was impressed. "A bit unconventional, this McHale chap. Calls his men gorillas and his girl pussycat. I like it." "Sir, wait," Parker interjected. "He's not McHale. He's Gruber. And McHale is Parker. No, McHale is McHale, but he's a seaman. It's a strategic masquerade to trick the nips." The Commodore stared at them. "These Americans are as nutty as a barge load of fruitcakes." Binghamton arrived just in time to see the Commodore stomping away in disgust. "No, wait. Take McHale with you," Binghamton begged. "I'll give you 6 cartons of cigarettes, a waterproof watch. Just take him." But the British had seen enough. Gruber kept his girl, at least for 5 minutes, and McHale kept his command. Chapter 7. The Payroll Caper. The month ended with the highest stakes yet. $62,000 in cold, hard cash. The base payroll had to be picked up from New Caledonia, and because every other boat was on patrol, Binghamton was forced to send the 73. "It's a trap, isn't it?" Carpenter asked. "Of course," Binghamton smirked. "I told Parker to take the shortcut through Saloon Road. If they don't get robbed, they'll spend it. Either way, they're going to the brig." Parker did indeed get robbed. Or rather, he was distracted by a girl with a heart-shaped birthmark on her ankle and a very large man with a very small sense of humor. the money vanished. The payroll,